Hello there folks, my name is Spooks and welcome back to an episode of Box Office Chat. This is the show where I break down the top 5 domestic box office results, see where each movie landed, and see how well each movie did. So let's get started. Number 5 was The Long Walk, making $6.2 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $22 million and its worldwide total to $25 million. So the movie actually held really well for a horror film, especially one as bleak and kind of depressing as this one, as far as I know. I haven't seen it yet, but still though, a 47% drop in its second weekend. That's pretty solid. It does show that the word of mouth is kind of there. People are interested and curious about seeing the film and encouraging others to go and check it out. So while it may not be the next Sinners or Weapons, it's definitely gonna be a sleeper hit for the studio. I believe it's already made back its $20 million budget. If it can keep going at the rate it's going, it should double that, at least domestically. I'm concerned about the international box office though. It's doing nothing overseas. But hey, if it can manage to continue to hold well throughout the next couple weeks, again, we are in spooky season. October is literally next week. So if it can just manage to do that throughout the rest of the spooky season, I think, again, it'll make itself a nice little sleeper hit for Lionsgate. So yeah, still doing really well for itself. Impressing me a lot given, you know, the studio who released the film and all the competition out right now. It seems that this one's seeming to find its audience, which is great to see. Number 4 was Downton Abbey, the grand finale, making $6.4 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $31 million and its worldwide total to $59 million. So this, on the other hand, faced a steep drop-off this weekend, which I was kind of surprised by. I thought, you know, given the reception for the film and the fact that it was the final, I guess, again, adventure of the Crawleys. I haven't watched the show, so, but yeah, I thought maybe the word of mouth would have helped it out a bit, the reception, but clearly it was very front-loaded. Most of the fans wanted to go and check it out on the first weekend, and everybody else did not seem to care. Unfortunately. Still though, I do think it's heading on the right trajectory. Maybe not the path, but right trajectory. It surpassed its initial $50 million budget worldwide. All it has to do now is double that, so we'll see if it can get there, but it's looking like this is going to perform much more in line with the second one than the first one, which I think many people were expecting, but I don't know. I had a little optimism that it could, you know, at least improve a bit from the second one, I should say, given that was released under much different circumstances and, again, the reception for the film. But still, though, it's not in like a lot of danger. Again, it's headed on the right trajectory, but still a pretty significant drop. I think this movie was definitely much more front-loaded than a lot of people were expecting it to be, myself included. Number 3 was The Conjuring Last Rite, making $12 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $150 million and its worldwide total to $399 million. Well, I think this just seals the deal. It's pretty much locked for $400 million worldwide. I'm sure it'll get there by tomorrow, which is an absolutely insane accomplishment for this film to get to. Again, none of the other films in this franchise have gotten to this point, you know, in popularity, in hype, in success. They have been very successful, acclaimed, but the fact that this movie has reached this level, this high of a height, whatever you may call it, is absolutely astonishing. This is the biggest horror film of the year worldwide. Domestically, it's still going to settle for second place because Sinners was just such a juggernaut over here. But still, second place is nothing to sneeze at. It definitely, again, it kind of takes me by surprise how this movie managed to really strike a chord with so many people. Even after a really big drop-off last weekend, it still managed to bounce back, and again, people still seem to really want to go and check this movie out, and it seems like they're going to continue to do so again as we head into October for sure. Yeah, man, this movie's still like hugely successful, man. I did not expect this movie to reach this, you know, this amount this early in its run. Like, again, none of the other films came close to what this movie has done. And so the fact that this movie has done that is really astonishing to see. So yeah, again, another solid weekend for The Conjuring Last Rites. Number 2 was Him, opening with $13 million this weekend domestically. That total stays the same worldwide as there wasn't a big increase internationally. This is the 7th biggest opening for a horror film this year. It topped The Woman in the Yard, The Long Walk, and Wolfman, but it still sits behind The Monkey 28 years later, Weapons, Sinners, Final Destination Bloodlines, and The Conjuring Last Rites. Yeah, this movie didn't really reach my expectations. You know, I thought given the talent behind the film and the prominent marketing campaign, even the excellent timing of the release of the film coinciding with the start of football season, I thought, you know, it may not have been the next Sinners or Weapons, but it could still kind of break out and make a name for itself, but it did not do that. It's clear that the interest wasn't really there for this movie, and I think what we saw with this film was the opposite of what we saw with Sinners and Weapons, where the reviews for those movies, when they came out, they definitely gave those movies a bit of a boost in going into their weekends, because as we got further into the weekends, the numbers for both those movies went higher. But when the reviews for this movie came out, which are really bad, the numbers kept going down for this movie, and those who have seen it, critics and audiences alike, do not like this movie. Like I said, reviews have been very bad. Last I checked, it was in the high 20s on Rotten Tomatoes, which is just awful. And even on CinemaScore, people don't seem to be big fans of the film. It got a C- on CinemaScore, which is not good. Not even for a horror movie, that is concerned. Especially this year when there have been so many well-received horror films. Even the ones that underperformed found an audience for themselves. This one did not do that. So it's looking like this is going to be a big disappointment for sure. I mean, not like a big flop or anything. It didn't cost that much to make. It only costed $27 million. So who knows? Maybe they'll get lucky and make that back. But yeah, I think this movie's going to have a rough time going forward. It just doesn't seem like the interest or the word of mouth is really helping it out, unfortunately. Yeah, this is a really disappointing opening, and it's looking like it's going to be a really disappointing performance. And finally, let's end the video off with the number 1 movie of the weekend, which was once again Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, making $17 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $104 million and its worldwide total to $555 million. So it didn't seem to break the trend that we see with a lot of anime films. They crush it on their opening weekends, but fall hard on their second. And boy, did this movie fall hard. It only held 75% from last weekend. That's a steep drop. This was really front-loaded. All the fanboys rushed to see it as soon as they could on that first weekend, and barely anybody else is catching it on the second. So yeah, again, when it comes to these anime films, they just got to find a way to really bring the general audiences, the rest of the movie-going public, to the theaters so they can have much stronger hold, because again, these are becoming really front-loaded movies that are suffering really steep drop-offs. With that said, though, the movie is still very successful. I doubt that this is gonna be a major concern. I'm sure some people were a bit perplexed by the drop off, but given the amount it's made already, still $500 million worldwide, and also, strangely enough, this is basically the first animated film of the year to surpass 100 million domestically. It wasn't Elio, it wasn't The Bad Guys 2, it wasn't even Dogman, it was Demon Slayer, the gritty, bloody action film based off of the beloved series, which is both funny, incredible, and kind of sad when you really think about things going on with animation right now. Still, despite, the big drop off, I would still call this, still like hugely successful. Absolutely, really strong numbers for this movie. It does show that people do love this show and are really excited to see how it concludes. Again, this is only part one of a 3-part finale, so just imagine how the next couple movies are going to do when they come out. But still, though, yeah, I think, again, they just got to find a way to make these movies appeal to the general going audience, because clearly the fans are excited for it, but outside of that, it doesn't seem they have much appeal otherwise. And those were the top 5 domestic box office results for this weekend, but we're not quite done yet as we've got another week ahead of us and new movies hitting theaters. And this weekend we have 2 new major wide releases, starting with Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. Yep, based off of the beloved animated series on Netflix, and I guess also by technicality makes it the first film based off of a Netflix show to be released in theaters. Yay! Now, look, obviously this is geared towards young preschool children. The show is aimed at young preschool children, so by definition the movie should be aimed at that. And given how successful the Paw Patrol movies are, I see no reason why this doesn't perform similar to them. Again, it's been a while since the last family movies in theaters, Freakier Friday and The Bad Guys 2, and I'm sure a lot of families are eager to take their kids to see something new, and lo and behold, they got something, so I'm sure that'll help it out. Also, this is going to be the only family film in theaters until, believe it or not, I think Wicked and Zootopia 2 on Thanksgiving. It's weird how that works out. So I'm sure the movie will have legs, but given that it's, again, aimed at a younger audience, I don't think this will be as widely accessible as other animated films this year, and even then that's still kind of a low bar, I know, but still, given the target demographic for this, I can't imagine it's appealing to anyone outside of the age range, and I haven't seen a big marketing push for it. A couple things here and there, certainly the trailer, but that's really about it. They're not pushing it as much as I thought they would. So yeah, I think we'll see a good opening here, but nothing spectacular or monumentous. And then there's One Battle After Another, the newest film from Paul Thomas Anderson. It's about a former revolutionary who tries to protect his daughter from his former past mistakes in life, but eventually it catches up to him, and now he must find a way to save his daughter from what he has done. Now, this has been the talk of the town for quite some time, not just because it's the next Leonardo DiCaprio film, not because of the subject and themes, not even because it's a Paul Thomas Anderson film, not even for the movie itself. The reason this has been the talk of the town is because of the budget. Apparently, they gave Paul Thomas Anderson a whole lot of money, and now it seems like a lot of people are really wondering, is this going to pay off? And it seems like Warner Brothers really wants it to pay off, as I've seen a big marketing push for this. They even did a Fortnite collab of all things. But yes, I've seen a lot of promos. I've gotten the trailer a lot. Definitely doing a lot to promote the film for sure, and there does seem to be some buzz with the film community. A lot of people hyping this up. It screened at TIFF earlier this month, and the reviews have been exceptionally positive, and it's definitely drumming up interest as well. It's even gotten some awards buzz, potentially Best Picture contender. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, the movie is ridiculously expensive. We don't know how expensive it is. It's been rumored about how expensive it is. Some are saying 130, others are saying 175. So it's all just gonna depend on how this movie does. If anything, I think best case scenario, this does what Mission Impossible did to a lesser extent. It does better than what people expect it to do. It has great word of mouth, it has good legs, but due to the expenses, the budget, it just won't be as successful as they hoped it would. It'll overperform, but it probably won't be as successful as they were hoping for. So yeah, definitely a big wild card, definitely something we're just gonna have to keep our eyes on, see how it does over the weekend. But we'll see how well this movie truly does, as well as the rest of the movies that land in the top 5 on the next Box Office Chat. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Box Office Chat. What did you all think of the results? Were you satisfied? Unsatisfied? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all those social media links right there. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.